You see, men who perpetually stay down in life across the board, right? And they never bounce back up. They never actually get to the next level that they want to get to. I've noticed that most of these men are just nice guys. They have nice guy syndrome, and it's really bad because they get to a certain point where they hit rock bottom in any part of their multidimensional life, because we all have that. We all have to cover our bases in each one of these dimensions. They hit the bottom when it comes to physically, like they look out of shape, they feel out of shape. They're not in the best health that they can be. They're not in the best aesthetics that they can look and present themselves. They hit the bottom mentally, where they constantly have these negative thoughts. They're constantly fighting their mind. They're letting their mind control them. Financially, they have no money in the bank, right? They don't necessarily have the will to be able to go get the money. They lost their job. Socially, they stay isolated. Spiritually, they literally have no direction on what they need to be doing. They don't know what their mission is. They have zero connection with God. See, these are all rock bottom instances multidimensionally, where the nice guy stays down for so long because he sits in his inadequacy. Most nice guys are just sitting in their inadequacy, and they're almost scared of the darker parts of them. I call this dark masculinity. It's like a dark side integration, right? They've never done that, and they're afraid of that because they've been trained for so long on the societal programming of your parents, of teachers, of your school, of other friends that you might have had who have been in that situation and who believe that that's the right way to go. And I'm speaking from experience because for me, I was always a nice guy. I was raised to be the nice guy. And I would see failure after failure after failure after failure. And most of the time I would stay down. I would never rise back up because I would never believe that I was even worth rising back up. Suppress my ego completely to where I didn't even believe in myself. Suppress my desire to inflict my narrative onto the world and persuade people to follow my narrative. So I never ever had friends like that, right? When I was younger, I was always the loner. I was always isolated. I never got what I wanted, right? Financially, as I got older, right? I never felt like I had the drive to make money. I believed money was evil, right? Because that's what I was trained when I was younger, right? I believed all of this stuff was evil, and I had to be humble, and I had to live a meek and peasant life. And that was my programming that I had for years. That even as I was breaking out of it, I never realized that this subconscious nice guy programming literally got me in the worst situations. Even with dating with women, right? When we talk about social, I would always be the nice guy. I would always do whatever it is that they said they wanted to do. I would never, ever put my desires at the forefront. I would never have any boundaries because I believe that, women are amazing and they don't need boundaries. They can do whatever they want. I need to be the one to close myself off. All of these different things that I had as I was growing up destroyed me. Every time I was down, I stayed down. And it wasn't until I started doing a lot of shadow work, a lot of analyzing the darkest parts of me. That's what shadow work is. I ended up rising up every time. I got to a point where every time I would hit rock bottom in one of those dimensions in life, I would bounce back and get higher and higher and higher than I ever did before. Because I understood how to use those dark traits, because that's actually what you need in life. You have enough of the light traits that you've gained from society. You have to be full spectrum. You have to balance it all out to be able to live a full life. Because if you don't do that, people will walk on you. You'll get money stolen from you. You'll have women who genuinely walk over you and take advantage of you in every which way, shape, or form. You'll literally have all of your energy drained by friends who are constantly taking from you, taking your energy, taking your time, taking your money, taking everything. Because you're so fucking nice. You're so friendly all the time to people who don't even deserve friendliness. And it wasn't until I understood this. That's when I ended up leaving the United States as well. Because the nice guy always thinks, I need to be in the U.S. I had a poll recently that I did. I was like, do you want to leave the U.S. or do you love the U.S. and you want to stay there forever? And a majority of the people wanted to leave the U.S. And my question was, why haven't they done that yet? Because it's way better. It's actually pretty simple to do. And it's because of the programming that they've had, right? So for me, once I got out of that nice guy programming, I stopped caring what society wanted from me. I stopped caring about how I needed to represent myself to make society feel better about my existence, because that shit doesn't matter. What matters is I'm achieving my goals. What matters is I'm getting everything that I want out of life, and I'm unapologetic about it. It doesn't matter. See, the nice guy, when they see other people doing things that they wish they could do, or that they don't even have the balls to do, they hate on them. That's why the nice guy is the most dangerous guy ever, because he's at rock bottom and he wants to pull other people to rock bottom with him. So what he does, every time he sees somebody with a flashy car, right? Maybe they posted something on Instagram, hate, right? He sees somebody with an amazing physique, hate. He sees somebody who speaks highly of themselves, hate, right? Because they can't do that. They can't speak highly of themselves. They can't go get the money to be able to get the cars and all of that. I'm not saying you have to have that. I'm not saying that should be your prerogative. But if you feel the need to hate on somebody, you're hating on something that you wish you had that you can't have. That's a fact. Because if you really didn't want that thing, you wouldn't even care. Like, I don't want a Lamborghini. I want a Porsche, but I don't want a Lamborghini. So when I see someone flexing a Lamborghini, I don't get mad about that. But if I wanted the Lamborghini and I didn't have it, and I felt like I couldn't get it because something inside of me was holding me back, I would be spamming comments like, bro, you're such a douchebag. Like, you're so egotistical. Like, humble yourself. I would be commenting that shit like a fucking loser. And that's what I see a lot of men doing when they feel like they can't get out of rock bottom and they see somebody else who's thrived and got way higher. They always just go straight to that person and attack them in a way of pulling that person down so they can feel better about themselves. Oh, I'm the nice guy. I believe in virtue and morals. You can believe in virtues and morals, but if you can't get what you want in life, you're an absolute failure. And I said that to myself when I was at rock bottom. I was like, bro, I'm not shit. I can't get what I want out of life. I would look around and I would see people having the time of their lives. And I'd be stuck with an eviction notice on my fucking door because I was so nice, so friendly. I was nice with the leasing agent. The leasing agent walked all over me, said, hey, look, it's an 18-month lease, not a 12-month lease. And I said, oh, okay, no problem. Nice guy. Instead of saying, what are you talking about? No, it's a 12-month lease. I want a 12-month lease. If I don't get a 12-month lease, I can go find somebody else. You see what I'm saying? You have to use, and that's Machiavellianism, right? That's manipulation in a good way because you're getting what you want. And you're finding a way to incentivize them to do it because if they lose you, then they don't get another client. And they don't get that commission. So they have to kneel to your narrative that you want. But it's integrating those traits. It's sticking up for yourself. It's having the narcissism that people hate so much. The reason why narcissistic people are winning, not narcissistic personality disorder, because that means that you fall in love with a trait and you basically make that trait your entire personality. That's why in the Bible it says the love of money is evil. Money is not evil. The love of money is evil. You can go pursue money, but don't make it your entire life. Don't make it your personality. The nice guy basically says, well, shit, I can't go get the money that I want. So I'm just going to basically demonize going to go get money. I'm going to say that that's wrong. That's immoral because it makes me feel better about my inadequacy. And that's bullshit. And that's where a lot of people get stuck. And that's where I'm telling you, these traits that you have, and they typically sit in three different spaces. They have Machiavellianism, psychopathy, and narcissism. Those are the three that everybody has, and it manifests itself differently. It does. Because narcissism manifests in the nice guy by basically thinking that everything he thinks is right. When it is in fact, his mental model is actually wrong because he's losing in life. I rarely know of any like nice guys who win in life. I don't know any actually. I know guys who are kind to people and they're generous, but they're fucking ruthless when it comes to getting money. They're ruthless when it comes to their physique. They're ruthless when it comes to making sure that they have a solid network. They don't accept low-level people. They're ruthless when it comes to their relationship with God. Nobody can fuck with that. They're ruthless when it comes to all of these things. They're ruthless with their mind. They dominate their mind. But they're very kind to people. They're kind to you. They will smile at you. And that's the reality you have to understand as a man. If you want to evolve in this life, you need to integrate that dark masculine side, which a lot of men have not done because they haven't been taught that. They haven't even been exposed to that. They've been thinking that was wrong the whole time. Men get shamed when they start looking good and they look in the mirror. They start looking around. What do people think about me? Do people think I'm a narcissist? Of course they do. Because they don't have what you have. Because a guy who's super jacked is going to look at another guy who's in the camera and not flinch. He's not going to put that person down. He's going to say, wow, he's actually taking care of himself. He's starting to get proud of how he looks. He's really, really taking that serious. A guy who has a fuck ton of money is not going to go and say somebody else who's actually chasing that money, who's trying to go get the money. He's not going to call that person a psychopath. Somebody who only cares about money and has no emotions. That's what a psychopath is, right? A guy who, for example, is because we talk about Machiavellianism, a guy who's been able to build a team, who's been able to build a movement, who's been able to create something where people follow him is not going to shame the guy who's trying to do the same thing because he realizes that he has that. He realizes that that's a good trait to have, to want to be a magnetic pull to people. That's Machiavellianism. It's also a pinch of narcissism. But you have to be able to dominate these traits and use them and transmute them for good. The nice guy suppresses them to the point where it gets manifested in the worst possible ways in society. Like you see this all of the time. Feminism is literally narcissism. It's narcissistic personality disorder. It's basically narcissism that's been essentially repressed for a long time. And now it manifests itself in a way where it puts down the opposite gender, which is crazy to me. And you see this across society. You see how all this shit works. But as a man, you have to understand, I want to win. I want to be multidimensionally jacked. I want everything. I want it all. So how do I use these dark traits that I've been keeping under me for a long time? How do I stop making excuses for my own reality? How do I stop having victim mentality? Because all of nice guys have victim mentality. They think they're always being picked on. They think they're always the worst person. They think that everybody is against them. They don't realize, yeah, everybody will fuck you because you're nice. You're way too nice. You let shit slide too much. Somebody disrespects you, you bend to them. You let them go. No, you disrespect me, I'm gonna disrespect you back times 10. I don't give a fuck. I don't. And the religious people will say, well, Jesus said turn the other cheek. Did Jesus say that or did institutions say that? Because I saw when the Pharisees were defiling his father and they were selling in the actual temples, he went and got mad as fuck and flipped the tables. He didn't turn the other cheek. Turn the other cheek would have looked at it. I forgive them. Keep walking. He didn't turn the other cheek. Again, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but this is my interpretation of it. It could be completely wrong, but that helps me see Jesus as this guy understands human nature. Of course he does. It's the same. People always say, well, Jesus said, be humble, reject materialism, don't go for money. Jesus wore the most expensive robes. And you know they're expensive because they casted lots when he was dying to be able to get them. They don't cast lots on tattered clothes that don't mean shit. They were casting lots because he had such well-dressed clothes. He took over his dad's carpentry business, took over his family carpentry business. He had money, but he didn't love money. He didn't make money his master. He didn't care if he lost the clothes that they were lauding. He didn't care if that business didn't go well or if he sacrificed that business for his actual mission. He didn't give a fuck about that. He was using all of that. What I'm going to say is also going to get me in trouble. We look at narcissists. By definition, it does mean that you believe that everything revolves around you, right? But if I look at Christ, I notice the positive narcissistic side where it's like, I am him, right? I'm the great I am. I am the Messiah. I'm the way, the truth, and the light. Whether you like that or not, and most people get triggered by this because they're so nice that they don't realize that is positive narcissism in the best possible way. This is no disrespect to Jesus because I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe. That's actually like for me, the blueprint. But I understand the intricacies of how I can use that in my own life. Not to call myself Jesus, but to understand that you have to think highly of yourself to a certain extent. You don't want to have crazy delusion to the point where like you don't do anything and you think highly of yourself, but you don't have the work that puts into it. But you have to have that. When you look at psychopathy, right? It's the same kind of trait. Not caring about what other people think, saying your message. That's what when you look at Machiavellianism, which is manipulation, but it can be manipulation in positivity, where you bring people along to your mission, you create disciples. What did he do? Create disciples. There's nothing wrong with that. But the reason why a lot of the people who are gurus now, who are like the fake like cult leaders now, is because they make each one of these their full personality. So that's where they fall. Jesus used it. He used these elements of human nature to be able to propel his mission to get people to his Father. And that's what I understand from that. And that's a powerful message for me, because I was always taught to be humble, to be meek, to never ever put myself out there, to never ever go and be ambitious and go get money, that I didn't deserve money. Because I was a child of God. So children of God don't need money. Until that bill hits, then you need money. Children of God stay to themselves. They turn the other cheek. So when someone's punching your face in, just turn the other cheek and let them punch you. Just turn, let them punch you. Nah, I'm fighting the fuck back. And I'm going to make sure my shit hurts more. But that's dark masculinity. That's what's toxic. That's what a lot of men who are nice guys hate. They're going to hate me so much. And I love that shit so much, because I know love and hate are the same energies, just redirected in different directions. And I would hate myself if I didn't say this, because this is genuinely how I look at life. And this is genuinely what's gotten me out of the worst situations in life. When I snap that nice guy off and I use these dark traits to propel me, I use that dark ambition, I use that dark Machiavellianism to do something positive, to help people, to help myself. You have to have that. And if you don't have that, you're completely fucked in this society. Because nobody takes the nice guy seriously. Women don't take the nice guy seriously. Life doesn't take the nice guy seriously. This life was literally programmed to hurt nice guys. If you're too nice, that's humans. Humans don't respond very well to nice guys. They try to take advantage of them because they're like, you're prey. You're prey. I can now be the predator. So let me take all your resources. Let me take all of your mental energy. Let me pull all of your emotions, all of that stuff towards me. Let me make you a complete numb slave so I can use you to make me feel better. That's how you probably feel if you categorize yourself as the nice guy. And most guys don't even want to. I never tried to categorize myself as a nice guy until I looked myself in the mirror and said, why the fuck are you in the position that you're in right now? Why are people taking advantage of you? Why do you care if people hate on you? So to where you don't even go for your goals. I didn't go train until my freshman year because I didn't want to feel like I was a narcissist when I was in high school. I didn't want to go to the gym until I said, fuck that. I want to be the man. I care about me right now. I'm going to the gym. And I saw every single behavior around me change. I started making businesses, making money. There was a lot of resistance at first because my past was like, you're not worthy of this money. I had somebody that wanted to pay me $30 a session when I was in college, which was a lot at that time. And I almost said no because my subconscious programming was like, Martel, you don't deserve this. You're a son of God. You don't deserve this money. Don't take this money from that person. That's stealing. No, it's value exchange. They perceive my service, my knowledge as a certain value, and they pay based on that value. That's not stealing. And then you get them the results. That's not stealing. But again, that nice guy programming, that's why whenever you get close, you find a business model and you want to go pursue it and you don't even try because your internal programming is telling you, oh, I'm not worth it. I'm not worth this money right now. I'm not worth making this business right now. People aren't even going to accept me. How the fuck do you know that if you've never tried? But you're too nice. You're too kind. Well, I don't want to go take that because if they pay me, what if I can't deliver? You will deliver. You will have to deliver. And that's what stops a lot of people from starting businesses. I don't want to move to that other country because what if it doesn't work out? Well, what if it does? I have to stay with my parents because I have to take care of them. Bro, you're 21 years old or 22, 23, 24, 25. I don't give a fuck how old you are. Go experience life. Visit your parents consistently. Call them consistently when you're out. My parents are going to get mad if I leave because they said that I have to stay here for my whole life. So your parents are going to dictate your entire life. Oh, I have to stay here because my girl doesn't want to leave. Fuck it. Leave. Tell her I'm going here. Do you want to come with me or not? She doesn't want to come. All right, cool. I'm out. Take yourself seriously for a change. Do what it is that you want to do. Don't hurt people intentionally. People will get hurt by the fact that you're pursuing yourself. Of course, because people want you to pursue them. They're actually narcissists. They want everything to be about them. So when you take the focus around them and you put it towards yourself, it irritates them. They start to give off these negative narcissistic traits in a manifested negative way. And you have to avoid this shit at all costs. I hope that this video liberates a lot of men. And I speak passionately about this shit because I literally was the nice guy, man. Like, I'll never forget. Everything was just falling apart. My mind was crippling me. My mind was stomping on me left and right. Women were walking all over me. My physique looked like not a sack of oatmeal because I was never fat, but I just looked like a scrawny, Cry's funny. He always says dweeb, but a scrawny dweeb. I looked like a fucking idiot. I didn't even want to go get nice clothes because my parents drilled this shit into my mind that doesn't matter about your exterior, just matters about what's in here. Nice guy bullshit. So I never got attention. I never got any of that until I changed who I was. Until I understood internally at that time, I couldn't put it into a framework the way that I'm doing now, what dark masculinity truly is and why I was running away from that for so long. I was afraid of what that could do to me. I was afraid that it would make people feel uncomfortable. I was afraid that it would make me feel like I was just doing too much. The power is so great when you integrate both of them and you use them positively. Even if you're religious, you look at Christ. Christ is the light in the darkness. He utilizes the darkness to create light. There is no light without dark. That is the law. There is no light without dark. You are not a good man if you don't have darkness in you. And you can't cultivate that to do good things. If you have no darkness in you, you're just prey. You're just a worm that just moves around and life just throws you around wherever. Think about that. Hope this video is valuable for you. If you want to tap in with me, links will be in the description. I appreciate you. And I hope this changed somebody's life today. I'm going to catch you on the next video.